When you're itching to paint, thinking about studying composition may seem to take all the fun out of it. But if you're ending up with paintings that look flat, where maybe too much is going on or too little, where the focal point is lost so the viewer's eye doesn't really know what to look at, but most importantly, your own eyes feel something is missing, I think I might be able to help you. In this video, we're going to talk about easy ways to hack and understand composition so you can elevate your art. By the way, my name is Fiona Di Pinto, this is Drawings in a Drawer, and on here we simply love watercolour. So if that's your passion too, be sure to click on that notification bell so you won't miss any of my future uploads. And now, let's get right into it. Why do we have to bother thinking about composition? Do we really need to worry about it? Well, no, you don't. But composition is the very reason why our eyes are drawn to a painting more than to another one. And if you think of all the great masterpieces throughout the history of art, composition always played a key role to the extent where certain artists, like for example Vermeer, were almost obsessed with it. Composition is one of the crucial elements that makes a painting work, that makes it a whole and turns the viewing of it into an experience and into storytelling without saying a single word. I want to talk about how I personally hacked composition, though I'm sure there is room for improvement. I like to base what I say on this channel on my own direct experience. But there are definitely some easy methods that we find in books or are taught in art school that will help you improve your art right now. If you feel your paintings don't speak to you as much as you'd like them to, that they might hold meaning to you, but you're not certain that meaning is coming across to the viewer because maybe the elements are somewhat scattered, disconnected, and there's nothing guiding the observer's eye. And before you think it, I'll answer it. This is not going to take away from the spontaneity and freedom of your painting or drawing experience. I think it does quite the opposite, as it allows you to relax having this extra knowledge, which takes away all that self-doubt we have when we are creating a piece. So let's have a look at some of these simple and effective rules. The rule of thirds is the idea of imagining or even drawing a simple grid that divides your painting surface into 3 horizontal sections and 3 vertical ones, and then looking at where those lines intersect. That is where you want to place the elements of your painting that you want to be noticed at first glance. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to have something in each of those sweet spots, but for example, if you're doing a portrait, maybe you could push it over to the side so that the head, or if we want to go more into detail, one of the eyes, is in one of the intersections, rather than having your portrait sit smack in the middle of your paper or your working surface. The golden ratio, also known as the divine proportion, is based on the patterns of nature, as well as a mathematical ratio with a decimal number that stretches to infinity. This ratio appears in so many things. It can be found in our heartbeat, in Mozart and Beethoven's music, in life everywhere, and artists have been using it for centuries. This golden spiral appears in paintings like the Mona Lisa, The Girl with the Pearl Earring, and even very clearly in some of Van Gogh's work like Starry Night, where the very shape of the swirly clouds recalls the spiral that creates a flow through the scene. The spiral can be tighter or looser, and the tighter it is, the more detail you want to place in the core of it. I think this is my favourite method and the one that I have unknowingly been using in a lot of my work. You just need to look at it to know that this will create harmony, that it will guide your viewer's eye, and that it will naturally be appealing. pyramid. It's hard to go wrong with this one, and you can have it upside down as well. If you have a lot of elements and you're not sure how to place them so that the painting or drawing will look cohesive and balanced, use this simple triangular shape. It has especially been used in religious art to depict the Holy Trinity or the Mother, Father and Child scene. It does not have to be as rigid as this. You can throw off the symmetry and play with it slightly, but it is possibly the most immediate way to hack composition. The S shape, which is going to be the last one of these composition rules, though there are quite a few more, before I talk about other things that can help to bring interest and unity to your art. The S shape is another composition trick that creates movement, activity and even mystery, as it allows elements to disappear into the distance, and is very often used to depict country paths or curving rivers. But you can apply it to whatever you want and play with it by elongating the top or the bottom part of the S shape. You can either use it for floral compositions to decide where to place your blooms, buds and leaves. You can apply it to whatever you want, really. So you see, these composition rules are not taking spontaneity away from your art. They're giving you a solid foundation upon which you can explore and expand your creativity with watercolour or any other medium. As I said earlier, as well as these composition rules, there are other ways to guide your viewer, or why not, even your own eyes to the focal points of your piece. The first that comes to mind is contrast. Create contrast not only through colour and deep shadows, but through size, with smaller and larger elements. This will create an instant relationship between the features of your work. Crop your image. If you're using a reference photo, play around with it. There are several free apps that will allow you to do so. Try zooming into a section of it, a detail. Find the essential and get rid of what's not important. Approach your piece from a different angle. Repetition and pattern. As you see in this piece I'm working on, the stems of the flowers create a repetition that guides the eye back and forth from the woman embracing to the frog and then back again. have some elements in the background and make sure these are more faded. That will give the impression of distance. The eye won't go there immediately, but it will eventually be drawn into the painting, because by adding the background, you will have created depth, which is essential to make every work of art capturing. Well, I think I've talked enough for today. If you want to further connect with me and work alongside me live and join an exciting community of artists, just check all the links in the description box and you will find everything you need to know. And if you don't, feel free to ask in the comments. I always love reading your comments so much. And if you know anyone who might enjoy this video, please make sure to share it. And if you're still hesitating whether you should be picking up that paintbrush or pencil, I think it's time that you do. I will see you all next Sunday. Bye for now.